Hey friends, today Green Crayon and I are off to Los Angeles. We're going to go visit Kehinde Wiley. And Kehinde Wiley is an African American artist who is highly sought out by clients like Barack Obama. Oh my goodness, do you know who Barack Obama is? Yes, he was one of our presidents. Yes, and he is known for his highly naturalistic paintings of African Americans while referencing work of the great masters with a beautiful dense background. This guy is awesome. His works are huge, and many times he would often sit on a chair, on a desk to paint. That is so awesome. So today we're going to do one of two versions. You don't have to do our subject matter. Today our subject matter is green crayon because we can't reach former president, Barack Obama himself. So we are going to create either crayon portrait, 1, or crayon portrait, 2. I'll see y'all on the drawing board. Hey friends, today we're going to do our version of Kehinde Wiley's portrait. And today we are not actually going to use a real person as our subject matter. We will actually be using green crayon. So today's lesson we will need the following materials. Make sure you have your paper, of course, ready. A pencil, an eraser, a Sharpie, and something to create some form of color. It could be crayons, color pencils, or markers. And today some of us may need the assistance of a ruler. If you don't have a ruler, anything that can create a straight edge line, or you can just free draw and then you don't need the ruler. So I'm going to go ahead and clear my board. And we're going to start off with our subject matter, which is going to be green crayon. And Kehinde Wiley was known to have his subject matters in a position that mimics the old masters. So let's find a position for green crayon. So we can actually just have him laying down and his arm can be over his chest. And let's go ahead and start our drawing. Remember, we're going to create our subject matter before we go into the background. We're actually working in reverse when we're drawing. That way we know how much space we need towards the background. So that's going to be the top of his head. And I'm drawing in pencil first. And when I'm ready, I can outline. And green crayon has the word green across him. If you don't want to do a crayon and you have your own subject matter that you would love to draw, that would be okay too. And his arms, he's got one arm and a knot here and the rest of his arm. And let's do his legs, and his legs kind of just stick out here. Okay. Let's move green crayon to the side, and let's go ahead and outline our green crayon. Okay, now we're ready to add our background, and for this lesson I want to use my ruler to help me create a better pattern in the background. And I'm going to go ahead and divide my page into 2. They may not be even, and that's okay. You just do your best. using the ruler to create some straight lines. 1 line, 2, 3 vertical lines. That'll divide our space into 4 almost even parts. And I'm going to do the same with horizontal lines. And horizontal lines are the lines that go left to right across your page. And vertical lines are the ones that go up and down. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 5 horizontal lines that go left to right across my page, and they're not exactly entirely even, and that's okay. So a pattern is something that's predictable. So if you wanted to keep it a plain solid color, that could work. If you want to add shapes and make it predictable, especially when you start adding color, that would work as well. So I'm going to go ahead and redraw my background with my Sharpie. So I'm outlining. And my background, my pattern is going to be very simple. I am going to create some diagonal lines. That'll help me separate some space. 1, and I'm going to skip 1. Here's another pair of diagonal lines. Let's go ahead and fill our page with some diagonal lines. Okay, and we're going to continue adding our diagonal lines, skipping every other one. So now we're going to skip this one and then come up here. That way we have our pattern. We got one more down here. Okay. And we're going to fill these squares that have no lines in them with some circles. So we've got 1, 2 smaller circles, large circle, 2 smaller circles, and you can change your own shape. If you don't want to do circles and you want to do hearts, you can do hearts. Just make it sure that it is consistent. I'm going to have 2 of my circles disappear behind here. And you can see part of a large circle right here. Okay, and we are ready to add color. So part of Kehinde Wiley's portraits, when he does them, the subject matter is usually very realistic, and the background usually follows a nice pattern motif. So we're going to create our green crayon first in a almost realistic look. When we are shading, we want to make sure we hold our finger in an L shape. Place your pencil at the very top so that the tip of the pencil is touching the tip of your index finger. Your middle finger should be clasped this way, and then your thumb is actually going to go right up against the pencil so that your pencil is actually going to be suspended when you turn your hand this way. It's not going to fall down. When you are creating shading For your darker areas, you want to tip your finger down, which means that your elbow is going to rise a little bit. And if you, for lighter areas, you drop your elbow, that way your hand is more relaxed. So when you turn your hand over this way, you actually don't see your pencil. Okay? Some people can shade this way as long as you apply more pressure by raising your elbow, so your tip is actually getting more concentration to the paper, or you relax your elbow and your pencil point rises. So let's go ahead and add our shading for our crayon, for a green crayon. So I'm working on the darker areas first. Using one color, green, right now, and this is going to be my dark part of the crayon. And again, in shading, we want to also keep the direction consistent, and that helps you create the form. So if I curve my finger this way, it's going to help me create the illusion that the tip of my crayon is rounded. And as I go this way, still using the same color pencil right now, you can do the same with crayons. I am not pressing as dark. And it gets lighter here. There's a darker area right here. Let's go ahead and do the bottom part of the crayon. Same thing. We want to press darker as it goes towards the left side. And not as dark as we go to the right side of our paper. Okay. And green crayon has a beautiful, slightly lighter green for his label. So I'm going to use my lighter green. And the same thing applies. Even though it's a lighter green, you have light areas and dark areas. I'm going to press it a little harder towards the left side. Okay, and so far so good. We're going to go ahead and add some black to this part, and again, we want to keep with the very realistic look as well. So I'm going to use a black color pencil, and even though the entire strip is black, I want to press darker here and still maintain some values in a semi-realistic portrait. Make here a little darker. Yeah. Okay, and then the rest is up to you, whatever color variation you want to. For the background, just keep it consistent. For the background, I'm going to use my crayons, and I'm going to use red. I'm going to turn my paper. If I'm using red for the top and the bottom of my diagonal lines, then I want to do the same all the way through. Okay, and in between my diagonal lines, I'm going to add a nice indigo color. This is going to help with the contrast of my colors. Okay, and for my background squares, the rest of them, I'm going to use the color yellow. And there you have it, friends, our version of Kehinde Wiley. That was so much fun. Green Crayon, thank you for sitting still while we drew you today.
You're welcome.
Green Crayon, you're hilarious. Alright, remember, Kehinde Wiley was an African-American artist who was born in 1977. He is still much alive. He is 43 years old right now. And he is known for his highly naturalistic paintings of African-Americans. He frequently references the works of old master paintings for their densely patterned backgrounds. That's so awesome. One of his most famous clients was the former president, Barack Obama. That's so awesome. High five. Okay, we're still working on the high five. Thank you, friends. I'll see y'all next week. Be safe.